I spent 2 years building a life with her, only to find out I was just a stepping stone in hers. The worst part? She never even planned to stay. I didn't find out because she confessed. I found out because she got careless, and I got curious. I'm 26M, and until a few weeks ago, I genuinely thought I had everything figured out. Her name was Alina. We'd been together for almost 2 years. We met through a mutual friend at a small birthday gathering, and she immediately stood out. Not just because she was beautiful, though she definitely was, but because she had this calm, almost fragile energy about her. She told me early on that her past relationships were toxic, that she'd been with guys who never supported her dreams, who made her feel small. I guess I wanted to be the opposite of that, and for a long time I thought I was. At first everything felt normal. We'd go out for late-night chai, talk about life, future plans, stupid little things. She always talked about wanting to do something big, start her own business, maybe open an online boutique, build financial independence. I admired that. I supported that. I funded that. That last part didn't happen all at once. It was gradual, subtle. At first, it was small things. Hey, can you cover dinner? I forgot my wallet. Then it became, I need to pay for this course. It'll really help me grow. Then, I'm short on rent this month. I'll pay you back next time. And then, there was no next time. Looking back, the red flags were always there. I just chose not to see them. She never really insisted on paying for anything. She rarely talked about contributing financially. And whenever I brought it up, even gently, she'd get quiet. Not angry, not defensive. Just disappointed. Like I'd failed some invisible test. I thought you believed in me, she once said when I hesitated about sending her money for a business investment. And just like that, I gave in. About a year into the relationship, things escalated. She wanted to start an online clothing brand. I helped her set up everything. Website, logo, suppliers. I even dipped into my savings to help her get initial stock. She promised me we were building this together, her words, not mine. We're a team, she'd say, smiling, holding my hand like I was her entire world. I believed her, I really did. The first crack appeared about 3 months ago. It was something small, almost nothing. She started becoming distant. Not in a dramatic way, just subtle changes. She'd take longer to reply. She stopped sharing details about her day. She began spending more time working, but never really showed results. Whenever I asked how the business was going, she'd brush it off. It's in progress, you wouldn't understand the details. That line stuck with me, because before she wanted me involved. Now suddenly I wouldn't understand? Then came the night everything changed. She was at my apartment, sitting next to me on the couch. We were watching something on Netflix, but she kept texting someone. I noticed she'd tilt her phone slightly away from me. Not completely hiding it, just enough. That weird, instinctive feeling hit me. You know the one you try to ignore because you don't want to be that guy. Later that night, she went to shower and left her phone on the table. I didn't touch it at first. I actually sat there arguing with myself. Don't be insecure. Respect her privacy. You trust her, right? But then another thought came in. If there's nothing to hide, why does it feel like there is? I wish I could say I made a noble decision. I didn't. I picked up her phone. It wasn't locked. That was the first shock. The second came within seconds. There was a chat pinned at the top. A contact saved as Sana. I opened it, and everything just fell apart. At first, it looked normal. Just 2 friends talking. But then I scrolled. And I wish I hadn't. Sana, so how long are you going to keep this up? Alina, relax. Just a few more months? Sana, does he still pay for everything? Alina, obviously, why else would I stay? My chest went cold. I kept reading, even though every part of me wanted to stop. Sana, you're actually evil, lol. Alina, call it smart. I'm not going back to struggling. Sana, and then what? You just leave? Alina, yeah. Once the business is stable, or if something better comes along. Something better. That's what I was. A placeholder. There were more messages. Worse ones. She talked about how predictable I was. How easy it was to emotionally control me. How she knew exactly what to say to make me send money without questioning. I don't remember how long I sat there. I just remember my hands shaking, but my face completely still. Like my brain just shut off the emotional part. When she came out of the shower, I was exactly where she left me. Same position, same expression. Phone back on the table. You okay? She asked, drying her hair. Yeah, I said. And somehow, I sounded normal. That night, I didn't confront her. I didn't argue. I didn't even hint that I knew. Because something inside me had shifted. I wasn't heartbroken, not yet. I was alert. For the first time in 2 years, I started paying attention. Really paying attention. Over the next few days, I began noticing everything. The way she'd suddenly become extra affectionate when she needed money. The way she avoided certain questions, the way she'd subtly manipulate conversations to make me feel guilty. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But I didn't stop there. If she was playing a game, I was done being the losing side. I started gathering evidence, quietly. Carefully, every time she asked for money, I kept records. I saved chat screenshots. I noted dates, amounts, reasons. I even recorded a few conversations. Not illegally, just voice notes during calls where she openly talked about needing financial help. Then I went deeper. One night, I checked her phone again, this time more thoroughly. There were multiple chats, not just Sana. Another guy, saved under a fake name. Their messages weren't as direct, but they didn't need to be. She was clearly keeping him interested, not fully committed, just enough. A backup plan, that's when it hit me. I wasn't just being used, I was part of a system. And I decided, if I was going to end this, I wouldn't do it emotionally. I'd do it strategically. The opportunity came sooner than I expected. She told me her business was finally launching, a small event. Nothing huge, just a gathering with friends, a few family members, and some potential customers. She was excited, nervous, and of course, she wanted me there. Because you've been part of this journey, she said, smiling. Oh, I was definitely going to be there. The day of the event, everything looked perfect. Decorations set up, her outfits on display. She looked happy, confident, like someone who had everything under control. I stood there watching her talk to people, laughing, smiling, playing the role perfectly. At one point, she pulled me aside. I couldn't have done this without you, she said softly. And for a split second, I almost believed her again. Almost. When it was time for her to give a small speech, everyone gathered around. She started talking about her journey, her struggles, her hard work. And then she said it. I did this on my own. That was my cue. I stepped forward. Not exactly. The room went quiet. She looked at me confused. What? I took out my phone, connected it to the small speaker setup nearby, and pressed play. Her voice filled the room. Clear, unfiltered. Why else would I stay? Silence, heavy, uncomfortable silence, then another clip. Once the business is stable, I'm leaving him. I didn't need to say anything. The recordings did everything for me. Her face changed instantly, from confusion to panic. Wait, this isn't... She started, but no one was listening anymore. People were looking at her differently now. Her friends, her family, even the potential customers. I finally spoke, calm, controlled. For 2 years, I thought we were building something together, I said. But apparently, I was just funding your exit plan. She tried to grab my arm. Please, let's talk about this privately. I stepped back. No, we're done talking privately. And that was it. No shouting, no drama. Just truth, placed exactly where it needed to be. I walked out, and for the first time in weeks, I felt something. Not anger, not sadness. Relief. It's been a few weeks since then. She's tried reaching out, apologizing, explaining, blaming misunderstandings. I didn't respond. There's nothing left to say. What I learned from all this is simple. People don't suddenly become manipulative. They show you who they are. In small ways, subtle ways. You just have to be willing to see it. I ignored the signs because I wanted the story to be real. But reality doesn't care about what you want. It just shows you what is. And now, I'm done ignoring it. I thought that once I walked out of that event, it would be over. Alina would slink back into her little world, and I'd finally have closure. I was wrong, because some people, when cornered, don't just disappear. They scramble. They try to rewrite reality. And Alina, she wasn't done yet. The first sign came the next morning. Messages. Long, desperate paragraphs filling my inbox. Please, I didn't mean it like that. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. Let's talk privately. I didn't open them immediately. I just stared at my phone. Then I realized something important. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She was upset because she got caught. A few days passed, and I started noticing small things I had missed before. Mutual friends subtly asking if I was okay. People giving me strange looks whenever her name came up. She had already started her next move, planting her narrative. According to her version, I was controlling, obsessive, emotional, classic manipulation. I could have reacted angrily. I could have confronted her publicly again. But I didn't. Instead, I stayed calm, collected my evidence, documented everything. And that's when I realized the smartest move wasn't confrontation. It was patience. About a week later, a mutual friend messaged me quietly. Alina is spreading a story about you, but I think she's lying. I asked for details, and she sent me screenshots of texts Alina had sent to multiple friends, twisting the narrative to make me look controlling. I read through them, kept calm, and did nothing. Not because I didn't care, but because her lies could only survive in silence. Over the next few days, I quietly shared the recordings and screenshots from the event and past conversations with people I trusted. Not in anger, not publicly, just truthfully, piece by piece. By the end of the week, people started realizing the reality. Alina had manipulated the situation from the start. Her friends who had previously sympathized with her slowly stopped. Her own family seemed confused when presented with the evidence, and she had no response left. I also started noticing how much this entire experience had changed me. Before her, I trusted easily. I wanted to believe the best in people. I wanted to see love as this safe, predictable thing. After her, I saw the signs I had ignored. The subtle manipulations, the red flags, the small asks that turned into a dependency trap. I learned something crucial. Actions always speak louder than words. Words are cheap. Anyone can say, "I love you," "I trust you," or "we're a team." But consistent behavior, that's the real measure. Weeks passed. Life slowly returned to normal. I focused on my own goals, my own work, my own financial independence. I met new people. I laughed again. I rebuilt the trust I had lost, not in others, but in myself. And Alina? I heard her business didn't really take off. Rumor had it, her backup plan didn't work either. But I didn't care, because losing someone who was using you isn't a loss. It's a correction. Now, when I think back, I feel gratitude. Not for her, but for the lesson, for the clarity, for the realization that the person you see in front of you is sometimes very different from who they really are. And for the first time in years, I'm truly free.